Finally, after a long day, because I took the longest road possible to get here, I got to this place, which is called Vama Veche, which is a village transformed into a combination of a Mad Max, some Balkan and party resort. And what we got over here is one of the most popular destinations in the summertime in Romania. Over there is the Black Sea, and this is the Honda Rebel. And I picked up this place because probably those guys who are going to buy the new Honda Rebel will come to this place on their first trip after buying the bike, or at least I guess so. So besides that, I got the open highway, and I got a full day of trying this bike to get to know more and more about it. By the power output from the engine. Obviously it's the engine from the Africa Twin and it's one of my favorites, but still having this power and this acceleration on a cruiser shaped bike is unbelievable. It feels almost like a sports bike, even though the torque is lower right now, even though it's not as powerful on paper as the Africa Twin. It feels more than enough for a sporty ride. So although it looks like a cruiser, this one is not actually a cruiser as we know it, because instead of the big air-cooled V-twin, it comes with this inline twin from the Africa Twin. It comes with some details that are not looking quite good to a cruiser passionate eye. Take a look at those cables over there. But this is not actually a bad stuff, because the new Honda Rebel 1100 is a bike that needs to be on the market for those people that want a bumper-shaped bike, a custom-shaped bike, but without having to buy a classic cruiser. And we're naming the people that already bought the Honda Rebel 500, the people that already bought the Kawasaki Vulcan S, and why not the newcomers, because this is also a very good bike for the beginners. I gotta slow down a bit. So the engine, it comes from the Africa Twin, but it was modified, including the sound, and when keeping it at low RPM it sounds like a cruiser, but with rolling the throttle it sounds like a sports bike, and it feels like a sports bike engine, which is amazing. And I love it because this bike, trust me, it's very fast. Not very fast in this category, it's very fast among other bikes. So yeah, I had a lot of fun today thanks to the engine. It was tuned to offer more torque in the low RPM range, but it still pulls at 5,000, 6,000 RPM, and it comes with a nice sound. I love it so far. This one comes with the DCT gearbox, which means it's an automatic gearbox. It's the one that Honda used for the Africa Twin, and it's been some years since Honda is working on this gearbox, and now it's pretty refined. It was pretty good. You got the drive button. It doesn't come with the S buttons anymore, S riding modes, but the S shifting, let's put it this way, the shifting pattern can be modified from the riding mode or from the user settings. So it's quite simple to set up the gearbox so you can have a more sportier shifting pattern or a more relaxed shifting pattern. So it's quite easy to do it, and the gearbox feels very good. For those who don't know about it, you also got a plus and the minus on the left handlebar, and you can adjust the setting, the gearbox, the gear you're in, on the go, or you can just put it on the manual. I'm in the city with the Rebel 1100, and this bike is made for the city and for the short rides. Yesterday I had that long ride and I felt quite uncomfortable in the end because of the seat, because of the ergonomy, because of the riding position. The foot pegs are a bit too high, the position is a bit cramped if you're riding it for too much time, but in the city it feels very good. Actually, you can do pretty much the same thing as if you're riding a naked bike or something like that, because the handlebar is quite narrow, you have a good turning angle, and yeah, I feel that this would be a perfect choice for commuting. We got ride-by-wire, we got IMU, we got riding modes, and sport was my favorite riding mode because it gave me the full power, the minimal intervention from the traction controls, so the bike was sliding a bit when rolling out the throttle, and it shifts like a sports bike. It leaves the bike go to 6,000 RPM, which is very good because also I love the sound and not just the power coming from the engine. It feels a bit violent in the sport riding mode if you're accelerating it from 2000, 3000 RPM. It goes like this. It's probably because it comes with so much torque in the low RPM, and you also got the DCT version. So yeah, you have to pay attention at the beginning in order to not to surprise you. Let's go in between cars. Narrow handlebar, easy to turn. Yeah, I really enjoy riding this one in the traffic. I'm still looking for the clutch, but I cannot find it, yeah, because it's a DCT. But let's discuss about the riding position, about the ergonomics, because it's very important. Now, this Rebel 500 feels pretty much the same as the... No, I said Rebel 500, yeah? It's Rebel 1100, and it feels pretty much the same as the Rebel 500. It looks the same and it feels the same when it comes to the riding position too. And this is a good thing for beginners and for short riders because it's very easy to touch the ground. It's not big, it's not intimidating. You have those mid-mounted foot pegs, but if you are a taller rider, you might feel a bit cramped on this bike, so you should try it before. On the open highway, I had the feeling that yeah, the handlebar has a quite awkward position and makes me go with my chest over the fuel tank, and maybe a different position would be better, but to adjust the handlebar I should remove the dashboard. I have two bolts over there, and maybe to put it like this, or maybe a wider handlebar. It's about setup, and it's a thing that you can easily adjust. But for now, I feel it's quite good, and I feel that everyone should try it and see if it fits them. The seat is not necessarily bad, but it's not very good either. It's not comfortable, that's what I mean. And yeah, maybe it's not just the seat, it's the riding position, because it's this riding position and all your weight goes into this pressure point. So this is the triangle, the riding triangle of this bike. And after 300 kilometers, you're gonna feel some pain after riding this bike. So I don't know, maybe a better seat, or maybe you can just have to, you just have to use with this bike and with this riding position. For me, it's not the most obvious choice for touring. The suspension system is superior to the one on the Rebel 500, but still it's quite basic. Well, the thing is that now it sticks to the asphalt in the turns. You can ride it fast, it feels safe, it feels secure, it doesn't feel wobbly, but it's still not comfortable if going over the bumps. At least in your back you can feel almost every bump in the asphalt. Unfortunately, the brakes are on the cruiser side. I need some more bite from this bike because it comes with this engine, which is very nice to rev and to ride, but you don't have enough stopping power if you're having fun. It's a shame to have just a single disc, and you have to squeeze it a lot if you want to stop when riding fast. So please, Honda, one more disc and it's gonna be okay. So what I'm saying is that the braking system is similar to other cruisers in the market, but I think that Honda should come up with a bit more. Now I want to share with you what's annoying for me about this bike, and it's not the front braking system because I'm gonna get used to it. It's not the exhaust, which, yeah, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's this thing on the DCT. This is the parking brake that you should have because it's a DCT. You cannot just leave it into first gear on a hill, so you need this one. So the thing is that you're pulling it like this, and after that it's quite hard to get it back in the original position with one hand. So either you're gonna get used to it, which didn't happen to me today, or you should also put this hand over here and push a button and then release the brake. But it's a problem because you're using this parking brake on a hill, for example, so then you have to also use your foot. So for this simple task you need two hands and pressing the foot brake like this. Why? Let me show you a cool feature. I'm just gonna unlock it right now, and just under the seat we got a storage compartment where you can put your smartphone. Actually, you can put like 15 smartphones over here, or whatever you might wish, because there is enough storage for you, for putting your wallet, your smartphone, I don't know. And there's also an USB socket over here, which is also very good. Honda is offering you an accessory list for this bike, but it's similar to the one on the Rebel 500. And what I'm saying is that you don't have too many choices. You can put a front cowl over here, a fairing to protect you from the wind. You can put some luggage system, but that's pretty much what you can get from that accessory list. But I'm sure that as soon as this bike will become more and more popular, and I cannot see any reason why it's not gonna be popular, I'm sure that you're gonna find all kind of stuff to put on your bike and to customize it. As I said at the beginning of this video, this Rebel 1100 is a great beginner's bike, and there are some reasons for that. One of them is because it's not that heavy. I mean, it's feather light in the cruiser world. It comes with 223 kilos for the manual and a bit more for the DCT version, which is quite good. More than that, it has low ground clearance. It's a small bike, it's easy to turn it, it's predictable. You got a lot of electronics, you got the safety net over there. If you're gonna put it on rain, it's gonna be really soft in terms of power output. So if you just got your license and want this bike, you should go and try it, because I think you're gonna like it. And it's also a natural and obvious choice for those who had the Rebel 500. This would be an upgrade, and I'm sure that if you loved the Rebel 500, you're gonna love this one too, because it's quite similar, but it's more powerful, it's more refined, better electronics, better suspension, and so on. 12,000 euros in our market. I think this is a good value for money because you're getting a lot. You're getting the electronics, you're getting the engine, you're getting this bike. Okay, it doesn't share the same finish as a more expensive Harley Davidson, but I think that this bike has its place on the market because it's been some time since the Japanese makers produced a cruiser for the worldwide markets. Okay, this is not that kind of cruiser many of you expected, but still, I think that the Rebel 1100, it's a good bike.